tried a little harder. You wouldn't have to try me, thought you were smarter. You's a goner, he choose who he chooses. Get to work, we don't like to lose. I came to work, I came to slay. Countdown to the beat, true queens don't play. I came to work, drag slay, work, hit the stage, drag queens don't play.
What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea Quarantine, where we what, Ari?
Where we sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea.
Oh, that is...
I love leaving you hanging because my voice ain't like that, girl.
That is great. Who do you got over there?
Miss Mama, who's about to make a break for it. What's up, Glitty Glit?
Glitty is ready to go back to sleep, so I'm just going to let her go do her thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a true queen in the virtual building. Oh, a true queen and T'Challa. Look at this. The queen of Real Housewives of Potomac, mother, wife, businesswoman, Miss Monique Samuels, darling. Welcome.
Hello. T'Challa's he's trying to go back to his perch because he was taking a nap. So he's like anxious. Like, what are you doing?
You had to get that exclusive. I was like, what was lost is now found, child.
Exactly. Oh.
Thank God. He's going to go back now. Look at him. He's like, yeah.
All the babies have left the building. It's time to have some tea time. Okay, girls, so we're going to just dive on in. 2020 has been a very interesting year, to say the very least, but we're going to focus on the positives. So give us some positive takeaways that you've experienced during quarantine. Have there been any new hobbies? Like, just give us some positive tea.
Oh my goodness. Nothing but positivity over here. Me and my family have incorporated bedtime meditation before we put the kids to sleep. We meditate as a family. We turn on that good 432 hertz music and everybody gets a good night's rest. We say positive words and then we have prayer together. The quarantine for me has been very productive. I've been working on projects. We've been spending so much time as a family, getting outdoors, just really focusing in on what's most important, which is each other, no busyness. It's really been good. I'm just blessed and grateful that all of us have maintained good health and I really can't complain. I'm enjoying the downtime.
I love that.
I think that's beautiful. I love that. Like it's a blessing to be together with your family. You have such a beautiful family. So it's to hear you say that, I think that's a blessing for everybody to like reconnect with themselves and like just spend that one time with the people we love and the animals, of course.
Right.
I want to get into, because the world knows you from Real Housewives of Potomac, and it's been wonderful to actually see your evolution in the series that have aired so far. I think what I want to touch on, there's so much drama, there's so much chaos. What I want to touch on is like your takeaway with the women supporting women, where you started and where you find yourself now, maybe towards the end of the season. How has that impacted how you feel about doing a show like this?
Oh man, it's definitely made me think more about what's most important. And what's most important is my family, so that comes first. And any decisions that we make moving forward, it's always going to be about what we feel as though is best for us as a unit. Even though, the show is featuring housewives and I'm a wife, at the end of the day, it does impact how your family feels and the amount of time that it takes away from your family. So starting out, it seemed like so much fun. And now it's gotten like really real, so. The
reel's in the Real Housewives right now.
It is this season. It's quite real. Oh, yes.
That's crazy.
We have made reality TV reality.
Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing about these platforms. When I lived in New York, I worked with one of the Real Housewives of New York. And when it gets that corner and it turns and it becomes real, I love that you touched on it's because it does feature your family and it does have a trickle-on effect. So I really appreciate, that's one of the things that I've seen your evolution is that the constant is your family. So without it, whatever the way it all falls, I think that you're good either way you turn that page, I feel.
Oh, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I never like to say that there's like regrets. It's about, seeing things and being like, I've learned and I've grown from it. Is there anything though, like looking back and seeing like the evolution of your life, they're like, ooh, I wish I could, do the rewind button on? Is there anything that you would say that you would want to kind of like redo or take away?
No, actually, I'm at a point where, like you said, it's about growth. I appreciate the journey. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned what my triggers are. I've been able to actually deal with things that took me out of my comfort zone, or things that where I end up with no self-control. I was able to pay attention to those things, learn what they are, know what they are, and then ensure that it never happens again. So it all comes down to the journey. And what I'm most excited about is the fact that there is an end to all of this. And my main concern was making sure that I really dealt with it, like really and truly, not because it's entertaining or anything other than the fact that I just wanted to make sure that I always maintain myself in my self-control, and I'm fully aware of whatever situations I bring myself in. So I know my limits. And I think that's really the takeaway for me.
That's so amazing to hear that. Kudos to you, girl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think reflection is an amazing thing, and I think that's one positive in reality. And I know Ariane was on a show for many, many years too. Being able to see like your life played out and be like, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't realize that. And I think it's beautifully said, Monique, being able to like have that power to analyze and look back and grow. And I think you definitely have grown over the seasons, and it's been beautiful to watch. And we're excited for some craziness to come, but we are all about the positivity and the focus on that. So I want to talk about, you mentioned quarantine has been a way for you to like dabble and get connected to different projects. So, let's break some bars down, girl. What's going on with the single? Let's pop.
Oh, yes. Look, that was my stress reliever. I've always been a gifted person in music. Music is my passion. That is first and foremost, long before I became a housewife. And I got away from it after becoming a mom and just being busy. And there's times where you would even watch the show, season 2. I rapped at High Tea. I also did at the reunion. It's my way of expressing myself in an artistic way, but it does give me an outlet. So after the crazy season last year of filming, I needed that outlet, and I just needed a way to put down on paper exactly what I was feeling, what I believe about myself, what I know who I am to be, and to just create an anthem.
Oh, we just lost you.
There we go.
And to create an anthem. Chris, I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, good. Hi, Chris. Bye.
I know. Now. This is the third time. The third
Make
time
a
he's
surprise appearance.
Just say hi.
What up? Two for one.
That's my background. He's sitting there chilling. Okay.
Oh, we ain't ending this, Chris. We love a good guest appearance. Don't you worry, Chad.
Right. He's been making guest appearances every time.
That is, the benefit of like doing everything from your house. You never know what's gonna
Exactly. It's real life. Like stuff happening.
Right.
Yes.
But
I apologize. Where were we? I don't even remember.
You were talking about a way to like get down everything, like writing down, your feelings and after the season.
Yes. So, that was my outlet. I was able to take everything that I had experienced and just kind of like put it on paper, make a fun video, and turn a negative into a positive. And that's what I did. And I was able to take the whole situation and put it behind me and move forward.
She came to slay, honey. That's
right?
The moral of the story.
That's good therapy though too, is like being able just to write your stuff down and like get it out and express it, just like let it out.
Yes.
And I know too, because like you're like, I would consider a queen of all trades. You have so much, being a mom, entrepreneur, reality TV personnel, like with having everything that you have, like where do you find the balance to balance everything? Because being a mom, I'm not a mother, but I've seen my mom do it. It's a full-time job. So how do you balance everything?
Yes. Oh my goodness. One of my friends told me, she said that she realized balance, the definition of balance is redefining what your definition of balance is. And I couldn't have said it better. And it makes so much sense because as things come your way, as you take on new projects, as you have more children, you always have to kind of divvy out a different piece of yourself. You know, you have 100% you as a person, but then a certain percentage goes to the kids, a certain goes to the husband, a certain goes to yourself, a certain goes to your projects and your goals. So it's just really adjusting how you flow. And if you need to take a step back and say, hey, maybe this is a little bit too much, you're able to kind of carve away at things that don't affect the main units, which is your family, your husband, yourself. Yeah. And then you figure out what you have time for. So that's what I do. I have office hours, as I call them. I'm grateful to have a nanny who can come during the day where the kids are being entertained and I'm able to handle business. And me and my husband sometimes will go eat together or go for walks in the neighborhood so that we have our time together. And then when she leaves, that's family time. We have dinner. We tuck them in every night. And then when they're asleep, then that's time for me to either cuddle up with my husband or if I have work to do from my phone or my computer, and I handle it. So it's all about just kind of like divvying out your day and then making sure that you don't overwhelm yourself too much. And I'm definitely guilty of doing too much, you know, at times. So I've gotten better thanks to this quarantine. I've gotten better at really just kind of taking things off my plate and not overcommitting. So yeah.
Good wrap there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overcommitting of things sometimes is like, ooh,
yes.
It can be crazy. So I want to talk about your book and potty training and the whole concept there, because we saw with the bird, but I was like, it's actually a really cool concept because it came so like internally for you. And it's like success comes when you do a project from actually living and breathing something authentically. So take us through that and why now, and like, what was it about this particular concept that you were like, I'm going to write? And it's not like a big encyclopedia. It's fast read. It's like together. So, you know, parents need this kind of stuff. What was it about now and the subject that you were like, I got to do it?
So I actually started writing this book and I've been taking notes since my first child. So every kid, I was just able to kind of like write down what the experience was with that child because everyone was different. And that was the biggest lesson for me. It was a great concept. A young lady years ago, before I became a mom, told me that, you know, in her country, they start potty training as soon as the baby can sit up on their own. And I was completely fascinated. And I told her, I said, when I have kids, I'm going to try this. And I did. And it really worked. So it's all about that introduction. It's all about introducing a child at such a young age where they never realized that it was never a thing, you know? So if you have a child that is 6 months old and you time it up right, they give you that cue, that facial cue. You sit them on the potty as soon as it happens and you go crazy. Babies want to please their parents and babies are sponges. They are soaking up everything. And babies like to be clean. That's why a lot of times when you're changing a baby's diaper, all of a sudden they're going all over you because they're like, oh, good, the diaper's off. Let me relieve myself, you know? So when you really think about it, if you teach a child that young, it clicks. And for my son, my first son, it clicked in 2 weeks. He realized, oh, I don't have to sit in this mess. And he was able to communicate with me in his way to let me know that he had to go. And I carried that potty with me everywhere. And it was amazing. He was potty trained sooner, all three of my kids. And I swear by it. I wrote down my experiences. I made sure that it was a short read, quick, to the point, jam-packed full of information, but not too long and drawn out. I just gave you the basics of everything you need to know. As a parent of 3, I can't sit down and read a book that's like super thick.
Yeah.
It overwhelms me. I don't have the time, the mental capacity to sit and tune them out to read a book that thick. So I really wanted to make sure that it was more like a guide, just giving you tips. There's a note space for you to take notes as you're reading the book. And I just wanted it to be just easy and non-overwhelming.
I love that. I think there's something there that you might have touched on something in terms of, I see a little series perhaps, because you mentioned babies are sponges. I think human beings are sponges if there's repetition and understanding. I mean,
Yes.
Let's see. Maybe there's another baby that you're gonna have. Maybe you should be doing different things too. Come on, Monique.
No more babies, but more books. I'm working on my next book already.
There we go.
Raising Little People. So it's just talking about how to make them independent thinkers, and just taking the approach of learning your child and growing with them more than being a dictator. So I think that's the dividing line for parenting, and I choose to parent my kids in a way in which I'm open to hearing what they have to say, and we're growing together, because I want them to be the best people possible, and I want them to be independent and confident. And something as simple as potty training, the confidence that it gives them. They feel like they're grown. They're wearing their little cute kid underwear, and they're so proud because they're like, oh, I'm doing things like you, So the confidence that it gives them is amazing.
I love hearing that. I mean, you seem like such an amazing mom, and everything that you're doing to instill such great things for them for when they're older and they're an adult and then they have their own little ones, with the book and then your website, Not for Lazy Moms. So walk us through that and what the process was and the decision to decide to create this website.
So Not for Lazy Moms was an idea that came about when I had my first son. And he was going through a lot of issues with his sinuses. We were living in Alabama, and he just kept having recurrent sinus infections. That led me on a path to try to find something that was more of a natural alternative to give him relief. And I stumbled upon essential oils. All of my kids, all of my friends would come to me and ask me for advice for just random things. I've always been a person that loves natural remedies. Yeah. They would pass my phone number out to all of their new mom friends. And one of my friends said, listen, you need to just create a website, put all of this information in, and this way I don't have to keep blowing up your phone and sharing your phone number with people. So I started it as a Facebook page. This was years ago, way before Housewives. Yeah. And then my desire was I had a whole 10-year plan that I have for Not for Lazy Moms and the different directions and areas that I want to tap into. So the first was to create the website. The next thing was to create a podcast. The next thing was to create a store and have books that I wrote in the store and other moms, and having that platform for them to write books that maybe they can't get a big time publisher. So they come to Not for Lazy Moms and they're able to market their books that are great reads for other parents. So that's where it all came from. And the vision is huge. And I'm just excited that everything is just happening one by one, just checking things off the list. And just trying to help people. That's what my desire is.
That's amazing. I love that. That's really what it's about at the end of the day. It's so good to see you have a platform, not being a woman, and I hate to say this, but also being a Black woman, to really, put out there, how do I help people? And I think that that's so important, especially because the world we're living in, and it's, it has so much negativity, that you're spreading, so much positivity and using your platforms for so many positive things. So it's very inspirational, and especially to be able to talk to you. It's always so different too when you see someone on TV or you follow them on Instagram. And even though everything that you do is amazing, but it's being able to have this one-on-one conversation. It's yes, girl, you are doing the damn thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're letting too. I appreciated that it's true to your soul. And that's what I think a lot of people they add the projects on, and I'm like, no, that ain't who you really are. So I think that's why you're seeing this 10-year plan for everything kind of come to fruition in such a great way, because I was you're not trying to talk about space and travel, going to space and shit. You're literally zoned in on what you know. And I think it's such a great niche that you've tapped into. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I always
off to you, but I'm not wearing one, so let me just get
I always believe that whenever you have a vision for something, it should be something you're passionate about. And I think sometimes when people are starting businesses, they're so money driven. And when you're passion driven, the money will come later, at some point. So I don't try to focus so much on that. I try to focus on what's my vision, what's my passion, and just putting it out there, and the rest will make sense, down the road.
I'm going to say it because I know a lot of these housewives, they should listen up, because honey, everybody dropping something. So listen up to Miss Potomac here, because that's Therein lies success, darling. Enough said. No more shade, honey. Let's get some rapid fire popping, all right?
We're gonna get some rapid fire. Okay, so as quick as you can be, girl, because sometimes we have people who spend about 5 minutes. So it's the first thing that comes to mind, okay? If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Dead or alive? Oh gosh. I can't even think. Y'all just like threw me off right now. Yeah. Okay, dead or alive. I would love to have dinner with Aaliyah, the singer, Busta Rhymes, the rapper, and my great-grandmother, who passed away some years back.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like it's a reunion and in a recording studio, dropping some beats.
Exactly. My great-grandmother, she was hilarious. And she said she loved to dance when she was younger. So she would be up in there dancing. And we would be
live it.
Dope songs.
If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Healing. The power to heal.
Perfect. Your dream vacation?
Oh, gosh. My dream vacation. I want to go to Seychelles.
Okay. Poppin'. And then you're going to hit it with the last one, Matt?
All right, we're gonna get in the craziest thing a fan has ever said to you or experienced. You're like, girl, there's about 500,000 of them.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, which one? Oh my goodness. I think the craziest thing that I've ever heard from a fan was that they asked me, or they assumed that I bleached my skin. They thought that I bleached my skin. Yeah, and I was just like, wait, I travel all the time, so my skin color changes. I'm Black and I tan very well. And sometimes, like, when I'm not going anywhere, then I could, like, my colors changes. That's just what it is. But I was kind of insulted because I was like, what makes you think that I would want to be something other than what I am? So that was really weird.
She said it, girl.
Right? She's like, I am comfortable in my own skin. Okay, thank you. Come again.
Yeah.
So for everyone who is living under a rock, let everyone know where they can follow you at, where they can watch the show, and where they can find your music, your books, everything, girls. Spill the tea.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Mrs. Monique Samuels, Twitter at I am Mrs. Samuels. You can reach my website and my book. It's at notforlazymoms.com. My song Drag Queens, you can find that on every major platform. Just put in the search box Hazel Drag Queens and it will pop right up. Amazon, Shopify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play. It's literally everywhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, she ain't playing. She's like, let me just get that list.
Right? Where can everybody follow you at, Matt?
You can follow me at Matt Dillon 1983.
And you guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. And until next time, we will catch you guys on another episode of Sippin' the Tea, quarantine style. Same time, same place.
Then I'm gonna make you work. What you gonna do? Then I'm gonna make you say. What you gonna do? Right on the beat till it hurts. Drag slay. Then I'm gonna make you work. What you gonna do? Then I'm gonna make you say. What you gonna do? Right on the beat till it hurts. Drag slay. Yeah. Straight to the top while the haters look up. Wondering why their attempts weren't enough.